Welcome to day 6 of this video series on finding meaning in life. Today I'm going to cover the topic of identity, the difference between being and becoming. This is a super loaded topic. It's the one I've been circling around for a long time, and today it just came to my attention that I really need to examine this one for myself and hopefully for you listening and watching to really go deeper on the role of identity. So to set a frame for this, identity I see as the version of yourself you identify with, hence identity. So it's the kind of story you're telling yourself about yourself. I'm this version of myself, I can do this, I show up in these ways. It could be around your career, relationships, your whole life. You've got identity, overall identity, and then you've got identity based on roles and ways you show up in life. So for me, I've got the identity of being a gym goer, I guess, would be one identity. I've got identity of being a mindset and performance coach for poker players. I've got an identity of being a powerlifter. I train for powerlifting and compete. And I've got identity in my relationships and how I show up. I see myself as being someone quite fun, quite open, good to be around. These are kind of labels I give myself, but ways I see myself. It's like a story I tell about myself and how I see myself, as well as the roles. All right, so that's one way of thinking about identity. And then another way is the version of us we're trying to become. All right, so most of us aren't just happy and content with who we are. If you have arrived at that state, well done. You've won the game of life. You're probably not watching this video, in all honesty. But if somehow this video has found you in your cave in the mountains or in your monk monasteries, you already have arrived at a point where you feel satisfied enough, and the current experience you're having is all you want, and you're not striving for something else. I'm not sure how many of us will arrive there, if anyone watching this video will arrive there. So we have to work with where we're at. So most of us are trying to get somewhere. We're trying to improve ourselves. We're trying to reach goals, reach objectives. This sounds great. And for me, I've spent a lot of my time, my energy, my life trying to achieve goals. My first goal was how to be, well, many goals, but the first goal in terms of stretching myself was how to become a professional poker player. And alongside that, how to work and live remotely in Thailand originally, then Bali, how to support myself, and then how to beat this game and create freedom and financial security for my future. That was a game I wanted to play. So I went from being broke, that was my current version, to I want to have success in this game and set myself for the future. All right, a game I was playing, so I had to go from where I was to where I wanted to be. Another simple example, in the gym, I do powerlifting. I've got exact what I can lift now and what I want to lift in 12 weeks and what I want to lift in a year's time. All right, so there's a gap. So today I want to explore the challenge of having that gap and the challenge I've experienced with being goal-driven and always trying to get somewhere. So when we set up our lives in terms of games that we're trying to achieve stuff in, we end up creating this gap of where I am now and where I want to be. Now, for me, when I've made the most progress in the shortest space of time, it's when I felt the most dissatisfaction with where I was. All right, so when I was 23 and started playing poker, I was completely broke, living in a foreign country, playing a game I didn't really know what I was doing at, and I had to make money today, tomorrow, this week to pay bills that were coming in. If not, I didn't have a plan B. I'd have to make some phone calls, get my mum or dad to transfer me some money so I could fly home from Thailand to England. So in that moment, there was so much urgency. The situation I was in was not good. I need to fix this. Then as I started more success in poker, then I started to really want to achieve the next level of success, which was, for me, reach the next level and the next financial milestones. And I felt a lot of dissatisfaction with where I was. A lot of this, where I'm at right now, isn't good enough. I'm better than this. I can achieve more. So when you have that feeling, that kind of gap between where you are and where you want to be, and there's a strong dislike of where you are, you can drive a lot of positive behaviors, let's call it, if they are positive, but a lot of adaptive behaviors. You can get yourself to be very proactive. You can be very productive. I was doing 12-hour days, 14-hour days, not effortlessly, but I couldn't not. I couldn't stop, like obsession. The word obsession gets used a lot, and anyone who's went through an obsessive period of their life, from the outside, people around you will say, wow, you're working so hard when you're going through an obsessive chapter, but to you, it doesn't feel that way. You know you are technically working hard, lots of hours, but you can't not work hard. You can't not put the hours in. You can't, it doesn't, you're driven so strongly that the fuel is so, it's obviously going to burn out at some point, but it's so strong that you can just get yourself to do a lot. You can just push through any obstacle and almost, you don't need motivation. You're just obsessed. You just need to do it. It has to be done. So obsessive drives aside, I think the obsessive drives, they become their own system. By that, when you're obsessed with something, like I said, you can't not. So it ends up creating the outcome that you're working towards on some level, or at least movement towards it, until you maybe crash and burn or reassess. So obsessive drives aside, when we have a current version of us that we're not happy with, and then we have a version of ourselves we want to be, we create a disconnect between those two people, and we want to close that gap. And the tension between those two states, for me, has been the driver behind almost all forward motion. By that, I mean I've always created a new identity, a version of myself I want to become, that appeals to me enough, that has enough excitement, enough, oh yes, this will be great, that I can get current me to make sacrifices, to work hard, to get to that version. Great. Sounds great. The downside of this is, in the moment you're in, the moment I've been in, the current me is never enough. The current me is always lacking. Future me is going to be awesome, but current me, this identity I have now, I don't like. I have a distaste for. I feel like, this version of me is quite pathetic. I need to get to the new version of me. And you think that once you get this new identity, that will be the arrival point. And you'll feel that satisfaction. And maybe you do. For me, sometimes I do for a small period of time. But I quickly arrive at that new identity, internalize that as the new me, and I go, right, next version. And we can end up playing this game of always trying to arrive, but never being where we are, never being satisfied where we are. And society seems to reward these people. It seems to be like, if you're compulsively unhappy, compulsively driven towards goals externally, society's like, yeah, you're a beast. Yeah, you get lots of money, you get lots of career success, you work all these long hours. It's like, yeah, go you. But internally, you can never rest. You can never be happy. So as I'm trying to find more meaning in life, the kind of talk of it's all about the journey. It's all about the journey, not the destination. Yes, there's a lot of truth to that. There's a lot of truth that's the steps towards where you're trying to get to are more important than a natural arrival. But also, if I'm not careful, I create a whole life around trying to get somewhere that doesn't really matter and not enjoying the journey, not enjoying the moments I'm in, not enjoying the day-to-day. So yeah, if anyone else is struggling with this, for myself, I'm trying to find more gratitude, more satisfaction in where I'm at now, today, not future me. Because if not, I will offset negative feelings in the moment by projecting into the future where I've solved those problems. If I've got money problems, I can go, yeah, but future me will be super rich, so don't worry, just work towards that, don't worry. If I've got insecurity problems around how my purpose in life or how I'm performing, yeah, don't worry about that. Future you will have it all solved and I'll be in a good place around it. So yeah, I noticed myself, I played the gap game, identity gap game of becoming, and I even teach this a lot to create an identity you're working towards. A lot of benefits. As I said, a lot of forward motion in my life has been by closing these gaps. But I'm starting to examine now, like, is that the only way to live life? Is the only way to live life to be in a feeling of lack and trying to close that lack gap? Or what would happen if you felt enough now? What if you just felt whole, complete in yourself, and then you expressed that? I'm not there. I haven't arrived there, so I can't speak from that lens. But I feel like there's something there. There's something to lean into. So yeah, this is a open topic. Hopefully you guys resonate with this. Let me know in the comments the gaps you're trying to close, the identities you're working towards, and then maybe turn the lens on yourself right now. What's stopping you being happy right now? What's missing from the current version of you that could make you more content? And can we lean into that more? And that's what I'm trying to do with this video series and with my life in general, just to lean a bit more into the moment, to be a bit more satisfied with present day me and not be in a rush to get to 2.0, 3.0 version of me. All right, that's all for today's video. I'll see you in tomorrow's.